If I put Greg's name up, I can take an attitude and everything else.
That's a lot of minutes to review. Whew.
You ready? Oh, no, okay.
Thank you.
Wow, we're getting right back into things here. So I am calling to order the Town of Hollis Planning Board meeting for Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. We will do a roll call first, and starting with my right,
Brett Markey.
Nick Hebert.
Tom Wachowski.
Heather Sullivan.
Danielle Bradbury.
Butch Cannon.
I would like to welcome Brett Markey to the planning board. Thank you for joining us. You've been, I don't want to say badged in, that's not the right word. What's the word? Sworn in.
Yes.
You've been sworn in?
Yes.
Great. We welcome you, and glad that you've decided to join us.
Thank you.
And please stop us if you have any questions at all. So we haven't had a meeting in a hot minute. It's been most of the summer. And so we've got a few administrative things to take care of. First off, we have correspondence. I believe we have two major pieces of correspondence, or multiple, I should say. We've got some letters from the Saco River Corridor Commission, two letters of projects that the Saco River Corridor Commission has made decisions on permits. If y'all remember, Saco River Corridor Commission, for any property that is that exists in the Saco River Corridor Commission defined area, applicants, if they want to do anything, if they want to make, if they want to add a deck onto their house, they've got to go to the commission and get a permit. That is in addition to the building permit that one might have to get from our code enforcement officer. The planning board gets copies of all of Saco River Corridor Commission decisions, but the only ones that planning board would get involved in are ones that would require, that our town ordinance would require them to come in front of us as well. So if there was a change of use, that would probably come in front of us. If there was, if someone was trying to build a 3 or greater unit, multi-unit building, that would come in front of us. Or projects that had previously been approved by the planning board have to come back to the planning board. After reviewing these two letters, the permits were both issued, I believe, and they do not touch planning board. So this is more of an FYI only. Does anyone have any questions about these two letters?
I don't have a question, but I have an observation. We seem to see an awful lot of after-the-fact permits.
Yes, I agree.
Are these for
I mean,
minor
we don't
builds? They
see,
must
I mean,
be.
the Saco River Corridor Commission sees those.
That's right.
Yep. I agree. I think that folks don't necessarily realize that there's another layer of, you know, conservation protection. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but that there's, when you're purchasing property that falls into the Saco River Corridor Commission, I think a lot of people don't realize that when they.
But these were just after the fact with Saco River Corridor, so they must have had permits from the town, right? Don't we start with asking?
So, I think this is on top of like PBR stuff for permit by rule things. So we did a permit by rule the other day, and it was, I think there were 3 or 4 in the town of Hollis that were all after the fact permit by rules disturbing.
In Hollis, and then okay, so these were after the fact Hollis, probably then after the fact Saco River Corridor. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
If code enforcement doesn't bring it to our attention,
Right.
then we have to just
Right.
assume that people are doing. If they realize they have to go in front of Saco River Corridor, they definitely know that they need
Yeah.
a building permit.
And I know that our code enforcement, like, that's the first question they ask, like, where are you? And then the first thing they say, are you in the Saco River Corridor? If you don't know, let's go look.
Yeah.
So, and they just asked me today, we were talking about doing something, so.
So I think that, if we
They would
ever
catch it.
end up, updating the planning board website, maybe that's something that we can put a link in for the Saco River Corridor Commission, or maybe a little, like a call out box.
Right.
Something like that. Or if we ever end up making like a welcome to Hollis. We
Don't forget the Saco River corridor.
Yes, exactly. So that's an interesting. Butch, do you have any suggestions
Well,
on
I-
how to
I
handle
would-
that?
I was just thinking we might consider putting the Saco River corridor zone on a zoning map so that it will be easier for people to understand when they're in the corridor.
That is a good idea.
It's not gonna take much, it's a 250, 500 feet, something like that.
Right, and we wouldn't identify it as a zone.
No, just
An
a
overlay.
setback or
Yeah.
whatever,
Like
Maybe it
POC.
could go into the zoning ordinance, there, right into the ordinance itself where we identify our zones, but then we could also say
Yeah.
there are, it's just like shoreline zoning is separate.
Well, see, our shoreline zoning only goes back 250. Whereas the corridor goes back, I think, 500.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's too bad they're not consistent, huh? Not suggesting that we expand our shoreline zoning.
no. Well, for instance, one of the after the fact permits was a girl down here on 35 Anderson, and it's in here. Evidently, she's gonna build a house way back in the back of the field. And she put a driveway in, a culvert, and whatever. I'm sure she had a state permit for an entrance. And she's gotta be pretty close to being outside the 500 foot, but, maybe she didn't realize that she didn't realize she needed to have a permit.
I think that driveway permits, that's something also that's relatively new in Hollis. We didn't always have those.
No, it's always had an entrance permit requirement.
For a town permit?
Yeah,
I thought we just
I
put
thought it
that
was
in.
DOT.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you're gonna build an entrance on a town road, you're gonna have to get the
Maybe it's the
road
town.
commissioner.
Yeah. Maybe it's the
They
town.
tell you
road.
the size of the culvert you need, things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Now, I know that there was road commissioner review, but I didn't know. I thought we wrote in, well, it doesn't matter. Yes, so there is a permit required if you're gonna put a driveway in on a town road. And good luck finding a list of town roads, because you can't find that on the website. But we have a fantastic road commissioner, and you can reach out to him. That's Robert Hanson, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Next piece of correspondence is not super timely, in that this is a notification from the Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry, letting us know that the town of Standish has updated their comprehensive plan and submitted it for review. Of consistency with the Growth Management Act. Comprehensive plans have to be reviewed up against state law to make sure that they don't get in the way of any state laws. The department was accepting written comments. The DAF, or Department of Agricultural Conservation and Forestry, notifies all towns that abut the town of Standish in the event that we might want to provide comment. I don't believe anybody did provide comment. This would also have gone to Select Board, Code Enforcement as well, same as the Saco River corridor stuff. So
I've only ever seen ours. Theirs looked really, really good. If nobody had a chance
did
to
it?
look at it, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at it. I'm not surprised. I mean, they're quite a bit bigger than us. I
Yeah.
think they've got a number of more volunteers
Yeah.
to
it looked
do
really
stuff
well.
like that.
Yeah.
So this is the process that Hollis will have to go through once our voters ratify the updates to the comprehensive plan that the comp plan committee is working on right now. Next order of housekeeping is a review of various minutes, basically from the last year or so, that never made their way to us for approval. So I think the earliest back set is from 7/24/2024, and the most recent up to, and it's not everyone, but up to 6/25/2025. I think that we should probably review and approve these one by one. So I will entertain a motion to approve minutes from 7/24/2024.
This is an agenda, not a minutes.
This is, yeah, so she just didn't remove agenda and change it to minutes. But this is minutes, because it does talk about, we can see in old business, we talked about Evelyn's Way. We talked about plans for next shoreline zoning map update. And then we went into a workshop.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
So other than making the change to the top to minutes, and then I think there's something else that we are required after the fact. You're supposed to put in the date approved somewhere on here, or reviewed and approved. I think that's something that came from the select board. It's in an email. If you can't find it, I'll find it. So I will start this time on my left. Butch, how do you vote?
I wasn't part of the planning board then.
Okay. So let's see.
Neither was I.
Are we going to have, so Nick, me, and Tommy. That's only 3 people. That's not quorum.
Well,
What do we do?
that's that, I guess.
Let's vote. We're going to vote anyway. I'll vote.
Yeah, we're just saying this is how we remember it.
Yep. So I vote to approve the minutes.
I vote to approve. Do I have to say second?
No, we
For a
already said.
yeah.
No, we didn't get a second. Oh, Nick did. Sorry.
Yeah, Nick got it.
All right.
Yes.
And Tom. All right. And Nick?
Yes.
Nick says yes as well.
All right. Wednesday, August 14th, 2024, meeting minutes. I will take a motion when someone's ready.
So moved.
Second.
Fantastic.
And then this one is going to be the same 3 people.
Yep.
Was Don there?
No.
He might have been at that one.
We had a site walk that day, and I remember most of the site walks. That was right off Deer Wonder. I don't remember him. He wasn't at the site walk, at least. I can't remember the meeting.
I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
I vote to accept as written.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. Linda Morton, resident pro cluster subdivision. Yep. That day.
I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of planning board meeting of August 28th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Bush, we got you on this one.
Yes. All right. So, any comments? Butch, how do you vote?
Yay.
I vote yes.
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 All right. Entertain a motion for approval of the meeting minutes for Wednesday, March 12th, 2025.
So moved.
Second. There you go.
So we don't have members present on this one, but I know I was here. Let's see if we can see any more names. in
I
here.
should have been here.
Let's see. Yeah, they just called.
It looks like these minutes might have been,
I remember. Yeah, I remember this. I was there.
These are
Yeah.
AI generated.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I was
The
there.
town of Hall's planning board? Under
Yeah.
summary?
Yeah, I was here for this one.
Awesome.
I think this was my first one.
I think it might have been. I believe so. At this meeting, we talked about the zoning use table changes. This was, I think, the one where we went through line item by line item, and remove or propose that we remove shoreline zoning and flood hazard zones out of our use table. I know, Butch, you were here for that. This is where we also added in allowing home occs in all zones.
Or making it clear that home occupations were allowed
Yep.
in all zones.
Yep. And then we discussed the proposed definition changes. We added some language, and then remember we had that discussion about cemeteries, and then we decided to remove cemeteries as an allowed use in Hollis Center Village. And then, let's see, we did a few other things. So I know that, Butch, you were here.
Did you say cemeteries is an allowed use in Hollis Center Village?
No, we removed it.
Well, there's a cemetery in Hollis Center
Right, but we
Village.
removed it so that no one can build a new
Okay.
cemetery there.
All right.
I think that because of this, I'm gonna just take this particular set off. We're not gonna approve these. I'll take it and I'll work on the minutes since I remember being here and I don't think you were here yet. Okay, so I will, update this and I'll bring it back to the next meeting.
Excellent idea.
So, we did not, do we need to vote to not approve it? Yeah, let's just do that. I vote to not approve it. No.
So moved?
No, you need to say no.
No, you can table it.
Oh, let's table it.
Table.
Do we have to vote on that, Butch? I think we can.
I don't know if you just have the power to table it or not, or if we have to vote.
Well, let's vote just in
Yeah, I'd
case.
vote to table it.
All right,
Table it.
table it.
Table it.
Table it.
Fantastic.
And Brett, your first time, table it.
Table it.
Awesome. Wednesday, March 26, 2025. I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
So move.
Second.
Second.
And we've got Butch.
My only question is
Yes.
on number, I guess number 3.
Mm-hmm.
There's confusion on numbering of the lot or something, and we accepted the plan with just the C, without the C designation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have a lot. I don't really know what the problem was, but we did have a lot 25, a lot 25C, lot 25. Let me get my map out here, just 1 second. Give me a second. It's either map 14 or 15. Okay, it's map 16. We have a lot 25. We have a 25C1, a 25C. So if we just accept that without the sublot designation, I suppose it can get confusion down the road because it's not going to have the right lot number on it. So I think what needs to happen is we need to find out, get the numbering straight on the map, and then make the application agree with it.
I know that they just updated the lot numbers. I was listening to the select board meeting actually, where is it with the assessor? One of you guys know? Was
Yeah.
it the assessor that re-updated all the maps and lot numbers most recently? They just did it. You guys were talking about it at the select. Yeah. So but the lot numbers and stuff just got updated with the correct splits and stuff like that. Yeah. So it'd be, I guess, what would be a matter of finding out, and I don't know who it would fall on, if it would be us at all, to find out if that C designation got put in with the recent update that was, I believe, within the past week or so. But again, I have no idea which lot 25.
Well, the only thing is that the numbers, everything ought to agree here,
Yeah.
so there's some history.
Right.
So,
Understood.
so those lot numbers ought to be squared away,
Yep.
and then the application corrected to
Updated.
reflect the proper lot number.
Of course.
Other than that, I'm all set with the minute.
Okay. So first star.
Well, how do we want to deal with it?
And I would say we can approve the minutes with that question anyways.
Yeah. So just, I don't know if it's the secretary or code that double checks to make sure the C designation made it in.
We can
I'll
ask.
come in and check that too.
Actually, we will have you track this down. So asking tax assessor, And they can probably give you a rundown of the issue, or what the issue was back in March. Because I don't remember exactly what happened, other than the fact that tax map said 25C and deed did not. While property is identified with the tax map and lot number on the application, it is the deed that provides us with, it provides us with proof of right, title, and interest. So I'm just not sure how much we need to push on this topic, because it is a tax map and we don't have anything to do with the taxes or the tax maps. So, motion to approve, subject to getting an answer to whether or not that's been fixed, and then making sure that the application's updated.
So moved.
Can I get a motion?
Second. Nick motioned, I second.
Awesome. All right. Butch?
Yes.
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 All right.
I was not. Oh, sorry.
You were here. Oh, you're not here on the next one?
April 9th, I was not here.
All right.
Sorry.
You're on. Your name's on here. Oh, so we gotta take you off.
Yep.
All right, so update that. So I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, April 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Butch, how do you vote?
Yes.
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 Stan, I wasn't here.
Yes.
All right. So generally, Brett, if you weren't here, we won't have you vote. Just so that you know, we did have you vote on one of them, because that we were.
Because we had to break in.
Yep. Yep. So I will entertain a motion to approve minutes from Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Butch?
Yes.
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 Good job.
All right. And I believe this is the last set, which is meeting minutes from, I'll entertain a motion to approve meeting minutes from 6/25/2025.
So moved.
Uh,
Second.
Second.
Yep,
Thank you.
thank you. Any discussion?
Second page,
Yep,
halfway down, we've got a name Emily,
yep.
and I don't see her name anywhere else, so I don't know what her last name might have been.
Oh, yeah, I remember
I
that.
don't know if we need to try to figure that out or not.
Was it someone on Zoom?
It was someone on Zoom.
Maybe they didn't say their last name.
Yeah, she was
Oh, she
tall.
was here.
I believe it might have been a gal who lived on the right-hand side,
Yep. Second house in or something.
going from the 202 entrance on Mansion Road, that lived back up in the back. I remember she had quite an acreage, and they built in the back, 'cause they wanted privacy and so forth and so on.
Do we have a?
But I
Oh,
think-
yes, because yes, I know
Yeah, I
who
think
she
we ought
is
to try
now.
to get her last name in there.
Do we have to have last names?
I only put what they provided when they came up.
Yeah, because we have Andy and Brad here as well.
Well, Brad never gave his last name, but Andy is Andy Morrow. It's the developer. And then
Alright,
one of these
okay.
just says Zoom comment.
Well, that was just my question or my comment.
Yep.
I think that was Brad, too.
I think
the
so,
Zoom
too.
comment, because I remember him talking about that.
I think so too. Okay. So, we should make a couple updates. I'm comfortable leaving first name. It is,
I don't know how I would get that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
and I don't want to
comfortable.
assume anything. And I'm not sure that it really matters. Public comments open to public. They could live here, they could not live here. They can give their name, they can give a fake name. So I would say that I'm comfortable with, as written.
And I second that.
I'm fine with it.
Awesome. So how do you vote?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, so we have one set that I'm gonna come back to you with, but that is the minutes
And you get the
review.
one to remove my name from.
Next order of
April
business, we our reports. I don't believe we have code enforcement with us on Zoom. So we do have a representative from the select board. If you have any reports that you would like to give, you can come up to the lectern. And we also have town manager here tonight. So if you have any reports you would like to give, you're welcome to come up.
Should we add town manager to that list of
Sure.
going forward for our agenda?
That's a
Sure.
good idea.
So we'll do that in the future.
We'll slowly work you in. Just going forward under reports.
Where it
just
says CEO, select board, committees, just add town manager. If that is something that we do as a courtesy, it is not a requirement.
Right.
But we want to make sure that if anyone's watching the planning board meeting and didn't happen to see some other meeting, that they are aware of things that are going on and things that we would maybe get reported on. You know, when code enforcement comes, we might ask questions about like how many building permits have been issued this quarter. When select board comes, they might tell us about something like town hall's going to be closed on the 18th and the 19th in order for them to move into the new building, things like that. So next up is old business. I'm going to jump around real quickly because I want to get item number 2 off the table quite quickly. While the applicant is not here with us, the Mansion Road subdivision that we worked on before our summer break, that was identified by the town of Waterboro as being adjacent, or some of the property owned by the applicant is also in the town of Waterboro. State law requires when a subdivision crosses town boundaries that planning boards have joint meetings. We don't make decisions together, but we have joint meetings together. We did not have a joint meeting for the sketch plan review of that subdivision. Sketch plan review is not technically part of the application process, so therefore it doesn't require a joint meeting. And there's some questions about the way the law is written and whether or not it actually does apply in this case, because none of the development is actually in Waterboro. So all the lots for the subdivision are on the Hollis side. But we had a meeting. There was a meeting with planning board, myself, Mary was there, town manager was there, a number of our town attorney and our land use consultants, and Waterboro Planning Board admin. It was decided that Waterboro Planning Board admin would reach out to the developer and ask them to present to Waterboro the project, same as they came and did with us. When the developer comes back to Hollis for an actual application review of the subdivision, that is when we will schedule a joint meeting with Waterboro, unless Waterboro makes the decision that they do not want to be involved and kind of give all decisions over to Hollis. If they decide to do that, then it's just business as usual. The developer was contacted and informed, and we haven't heard anything since.
Well done.
The next item is, so it's September. It's time to start thinking about our planning for June 2026 town meeting. That is the election where town business is also, or that is where town business is voted on. We have a number of ordinances that the planning board has taken on. We need to make sure that we have the right priority for those ordinances. So we're gonna have a brief discussion of it tonight. And then we have a meeting with the select board scheduled for next week, the 16th at 7 p.m. here in this building, where we will get from the select board their recommendations on on what our priorities should be. So I thought it just made sense for us to make sure that we're all aware of what the things are that are currently on the list, and also to see if there's anything that we feel needs to be added, because I think this list is going to serve as the basis for our discussion with select board as well.
The only thing that I noticed, I didn't really like the timing. I mean, we're pressed for time anyway, but the way that we have the timing set up, no matter what the public has to say about anything that we've issued, we have no time to correct it before it's just going to go out for vote anyway.
So this is something that is addressed in the proposed, in priority number 2, changes to planning board ordinances. So we realized this last year when we were planning, and we drafted changes to the planning board ordinance that would not have that 30 and 60 day requirement, so that we could have public comment on proposed changes whenever we want,
Right.
as early as we want.
Right.
There would be no, because the time constraint is not, first of all, the state law only requires us to have 1 public hearing. We choose to have 2, which I think is fine.
Yeah.
But then also the state law doesn't prescribe the timing. That timing from state law, that is for the select board, for their public hearings, not for ours. We just have to have one.
Yeah, it just makes it, it makes it really tough for us to represent whatever the town
Yeah,
want. as a
agreed,
whole.
agreed. That's why I put in the proposed draft, the changes. So that is item number 2 on the priority list, changes to the planning board ordinances. So heard and hopefully addressed.
You're not the only one that's brought it up.
No, but thank you for bringing it up again. So item number 1 on this update list, those are the changes that we previously drafted and approved and put up to the select board for inclusion on the June warrant. They didn't make it on the warrant, and we want them to be back on next June's warrant.
Yeah.
So then item 2 is changes to the planning board ordinance. That one is, like I said, it's primarily around the notice date, but then also we were discussing considering making the planning board smaller or allowing it to be smaller.
Yep.
But right now, it doesn't seem as though that's as necessary.
Right.
And there were a few other changes. We as a board have talked about the proposed changes. We'll obviously bring them back up as part of this process and do public hearings on them. We'll do that in good time. I think, if we follow whatever we end up deciding with select board's guidance in how we will go about doing this. Butch, quite a while ago, put up a growth ordinance proposal. We have not had any discussion, or we've had very little discussion about it. So I put that down as number 3, because I know that was something that felt it was a priority.
Okay, according to these new state laws, which are in the back of our package here,
Yes.
we cannot have a growth ordinance in a designated
Growth area.
Right.
We can have growth ordinance in other areas.
Yep.
So,
I think with the changes to the comp plan, or we don't know yet what growth areas will be identified in the
well,
comp
I
plan.
think the comp plan, the growth areas are gonna be the same as they were, the Hollis Center Village Zone, and I don't know if it was West Buxton or North Hollis,
I think it's West
the
Buxton,
Deer Point area, whatever.
which are,
But there was a suggestion to expand that Hollis Center Village area, because there's no room for growth in the village area as it stands. And it was gonna move it up 117, moved up 202 both ways, and down 35. So, we can't really do a whole lot with the growth ordinance till we have that ironed out,
okay.
And that's, the proposal for that, I think, is to be ready, I don't know, in November, I guess. I
Next
don't know,
one.
we'll find out.
Yeah, for the comp plan?
The 16th, yeah.
Yep, Okay. So I think that that is one that we can probably move down in priority, given the fact that we have the comp plan that didn't, I was, when I wrote
I
this
would
list.
say it could go below number 7.
I think so too. All right, so move down below 7. All right, so next up is, so as we did the updates to the zoning ordinance for this past June, those were updates to sections 1, 3, which is definitions, just the first, just 1, 2, and 3, I believe. We have other sections of the zoning ordinances. One that we found that we need to get at right away is the performance standards, which is section 6. When you make changes to the definitions, when you add uses, you've got to also put you want to look at the performance standards and make sure that the performance standards as written still meet the new definitions or, the changes that have been made to the definitions. So that would be the next section that I would suggest that we try to get updated. That does then still leave out section 5, which is the actual zones themselves, which I think that's where the discussion of expanding a zone might happen.
Number 5.
Yeah, no, it's not number 5 on this, it's section 5 in the zoning ordinance.
Okay.
So I think, so that was the next priority to me, and I would love if we could get, so if you figure the changes that we previously drafted, I think as a board, we need to just review them, make sure that we still want them. And then we go, for changes to the planning board ordinances, we need to, have a discussion, decide if we want to propose the changes that were drafted, and then do the work on updating the performance standards. And I would say that if we could get those 3 things done,
We'd be in good shape.
yeah, I think by we have to by March 4th. March 4th is the date that we have to have our proposed ordinances to the select board. If we could get those 3 things done, I would be thrilled.
Did you do that?
Huh?
You did?
No, I did it.
You did that?
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
I did it last year too. Number 5 is updates to the subdivision regulations. Subdivision regulations do not need to be voted on by the town, so we could in fact do that at any point we want to. But we do have a few things we have to address. We want to align the subdivision regulations with the changes that we made in the zoning ordinance. There are some, I wouldn't call them errors, but there is some ambiguity in the subdivision regulations that make things like timing of when notice goes out to residents and when public hearings are held for subdivisions. And we want to add some language around the border issue because that became kind of like a pretty confusing issue for administration and for planning board working with another town. So we want to beef that section up a little bit. But none of that requires voter approval. So I just consider it to be, a decent priority, but not right up there. Then number 6, we have some legislative changes that were made during the most recent legislative session. I sat on a conference call that the state employees that are doing the writing of, so you have statutes that get changed by the legislature, and then there is a part of state government that oversees the legislative changes or the laws. I can't remember the name. I mean, I think it's Department of, I don't want to say
Department of
housing.
Economic
Talking about
Development.
rulemaking?
No, economic development. So economic development has these proposed changes that you have in your packet that are not proposed, I'm sorry, these approved legislative changes. So these are law.
Yes.
Economic development then writes their department rules, regulations around these changes. They are in process of writing those rules right now. It is going to take a while, and I think that it doesn't make a ton of sense for us to try to change our ordinances until we also know what the rules are, or at least what the proposed rules are. Because we have to abide by rules just the same as we have to abide by laws. Butch, what do you think of that? That's why I put it down lower on the agenda, because I know it's gonna take them at least the summer.
Oh, it'll take them a good while to make those.
They've got some really talented policy people on it, but it's their wholesale changes that are in state law, and so there's gonna be a bit. There'll be a bit of, they when they do rulemaking at the legislature, they have to have public hearings, so that will also generate some interest, I think, by the public that might be helpful for us to hear and understand as we're looking to update our ordinances. And then the last item on the update list is changes related to the comp plan. And it's my understanding that the comp plan, I think I've got a copy of the most recent, or a draft, that is going to require, I think, multiple edits or multiple public hearings. There are a number of different groups that are reviewing the proposed changes. We have the right and responsibility to do the same as a group. So that's going to be something that I think will assign that as a group, take the changes to the comp plan, write your notes on it, and then we'll come together in a workshop. I think, it doesn't matter to me if it's a workshop or not, but we'll come together and hash out and then roll up comments as a board, as a whole. Does that work for everyone?
Yes.
Roll up comments, like on the next meeting, we have a public, or we talk about what we saw and.
Yeah, so we'll assign it, I'll send it to you. I think I'm the only one that has it right now. Because I haven't even reviewed it, and I wanted to try to highlight for folks, like, okay, this, which pieces of it actually really impact us versus pieces of it that don't. And there's still a significant amount of information that the writers are gathering.
Right.
So data, stuff like that. And me, I want data in order to help make my decisions. So without data, it's kind of tough for us as well. Has the comp committee has not formally sent out the draft and asked for comments yet, correct? Okay.
No, I'm on the comprehensive plan committee.
All
Was
right,
there,
but
I haven't sat in on any of the meetings in a while because they're Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and it was tricky to make. Have there been any major changes besides just kind of updating numbers and percentages and stuff like that?
I wouldn't think that there's a whole lot of numbers and stuff like that, yeah, it's historical stuff.
Yeah,
But looking forward is what we're talking about right now.
right.
And I think we have 2 or 3 chapters that are back to the Southern Maine Planning
Yep.
to republish for us and get back to us, and we'll start having public hearings.
And is
Either 1 or 2 chapters at a time.
oh, great, that's a great way to do
Yeah,
it.
and try to be done in time to get it on the warrant.
Okay.
Awesome.
Are you trying to get it on June or November?
I think maybe next June.
Perfect.
And is our review to recommend or not recommend?
It's not, I don't believe
We
that
don't
we get,
recommend
I don't
anymore.
even believe that we get have any authority. We're just reviewing it because it impacts us and providing comments. So
Yeah.
our experiences, or if you see something that is like concerning, like, oh, that's gonna be really hard for the planning board if you make that change.
Well, each section has a list of strategies and tasks,
Yep.
and each task is assigned something. Our planning board's gonna have several tasks, updating zoning ordinances and doing this, doing that, or whatever. So there's gonna be a lot of things, and it almost seems like in the past, they did the comprehensive plan, worked like the devil, got it done, put it in a binder, threw it up on the shelf. Got it down 10 years later, saying we gotta update.
So I will say, under one of our former former leadership of the board, we actually we went through the strategies and the tasks and like confirmed that we did them.
Yeah.
So at least one.
Oh, well, yes, some of the things are done, but, you know, it shouldn't just be forgotten when it's put together. It needs to be monitored on a monthly basis, and, you know, to see.
Maybe that should be written into the plan. But like, who's going to do
I
that?
think there's some language in there, something about it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's an ever-changing thing, you know, just like we got these laws.
The state law, yeah. With
Okay.
state law, I mean, that puts a
That
kibosh
throws
on
everything
a
in the
lot of
wind,
things.
all
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
it's
Well,
just
Butch, how about
something to
this?
stay on.
We will rely on you to kind of come back to us, and when we're ready, when it's time for us to kind of talk about it as a board and put together our thoughts, comments as a board, we'll have you kind of like present for us so that
Yep.
we can have, you know, I think that'll make for a really good conversation.
Okay.
And we do not need to, so we would probably only vote just like we would write out our comments and then all agree to it and then vote just to say we are gonna pass these along to comprehensive plan committee. But we wanna make sure that we get them to the comprehensive plan committee in a timely fashion.
Right.
That's the only thing that worries me.
Do we want to put an estimated complete on that?
Well, I think that the comp plan committee needs to publish or like
Okay.
ask for comments first. I mean, certainly folks can review the comp plan as written, or as drafted right now, but it sounds like Butch, there's some sections that are still,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so it may not do us, you know,
Wait.
you don't want to get too embedded in reviewing stuff. I mean, I'd review the version of it that exists right now, because right now, that's what we're functioning under, and we're going to be functioning under that version until at least June. So if you want to review anything, that'll give you a good starting point of maybe where you see gaps, or where we might need, you know, we've talked a little bit on this group of doing something with the economic overlay zone. Maybe, you know, maybe that's an expansion, maybe it's you know, Greg had some ideas around promoting business development with an overlay zone. So there's things like that I think that we could discuss, and if there was an appetite for it, you know, we want to make sure that there was a way for us to do it. One thing that I think folks don't really understand is that zoning ordinances are drafted based on what the comp plan says. So if the comp plan says we want growth in Hollis Center Village Zone, then our job is to make sure the ordinances don't say, we're not allowing any growth into Hollis Center or in Hollis Center Village. And as we saw with Standish, the comp plan does go up to the state for review and approval. So there is that piece of it as well. As we well know, the state is very focused on increasing housing opportunities or housing stock for residents of Maine. And that is, I would say, and that is what I saw in the state law changes is the promotion
To the point
of.
that it can get out of hand.
Yeah,
Really
and
easy.
I think there's a lot of people that feel that things might be a little bit out of hand already.
This is,
We're not doing it yet.
I know, but that was,
Just hold on. We're coming right up.
all right.
You like the ideas?
So, our goal is to have
Some wild stuff in there.
a review of the previously drafted zoning ordinances, the changes to the planning board ordinances, and any updates to section 6 of the zoning ordinances done by March 4th. If we have, so we should have public hearings on those. We can do them all together. I will say though that if whatever public hearings we have before March 4th, we still have to have 2 public hearings on them after March 4th because of the way the ordinance is written. We have to have one in May and one in April. So those will be,
And then regardless if the public changes their mind, that's
Right.
what's going on.
so that's why I think we should still have one, you know, we should have one in, or 2 in February.
I agree.
So that we actually get input
I like
from
that.
residents. As we know, that's something that we think is really important. So don't lose this don't lose this chart. This is our chart that tells us timing of things. And I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 planning board meetings until we have to have our ordinance changes submitted to the select board.
Okay.
Plus a meeting with the select board next week, so.
You said 10? Oh, yeah, okay, yep.
There is Maine Municipal Association. I had a copy of the ordinance enactment procedure printed out for us. A lot of this is not relevant to us except for the fact that we do write ordinances or write changes to ordinances. And you'll find the zoning ordinances, the state law regarding zoning ordinances is also attached to this. So general requirements, these are things we have to make sure that we definitely follow. And I believe that wraps it up for old business. For new business, as we've mentioned, the state of Maine has passed a couple new laws related to allowing residential uses in commercial districts. I think there's 3 major pieces.
Do we
Yeah.
have any commercial-only districts?
No.
So that one doesn't really pertain to us,
Yeah, I
right?
think that one's commercial only.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
I had some questions like that on another one about,
Okay, which
you
one?
know, do we have commercial zones? And I don't think we do. We have the economic overlay, which is on the major highways in town. So I don't know that we have a commercial district that.
Right.
So this is one of the items that came up on that, workshop meeting that I was on. And the rule drafters are going to define things like commercial zone. So that there will actually be a definition, then we can just say, do any of our zones meet that definition?
I think the only one that's weird on this is like, what's that place that's around the corner on 202, Eagle?
Eagle Enterprises?
Eagle Enterprises. So one of the things it says here is that if it becomes a vacant building, it can now be used it can be converted into a residence.
Sure.
And no longer be under commercial, it can be residential. But I don't think there's anything that are
I don't think we have anything.
against that, right?
No. Exactly.
So I think we're on par with that one already.
I believe so. I believe that would go on the bottom of the list if we had a list of
Yeah.
priority.
They changed the required parking space requirements in growth areas. So as they are gonna define growth area, but I believe that growth areas are areas identified as growth areas in comprehensive plan, I believe is what definition is now. We cannot require more than one parking space per dwelling unit for a residential development if it's in a growth area.
Does that not go against what we just did with LD 2003 stuff?
I don't know what you mean.
I think, yeah, we moved from like 3 to
3?
2, right?
They allowed.
we moved
We
it
tried to
through.
move it from. We tried to move it to 1 per dwelling.
We
unit.
tried to change it. They had 2 spaces for 3 units.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you get a 6-unit, you get a 6-unit thing there, and you got 4. You're only required 4 parking spaces.
Right.
So
We tried.
You got 2 cars with no place to park. If everybody only has 1 vehicle.
Yep.
So then
you know,
they've
it
just.
really doesn't make sense them doing that like that.
And I feel like this updates that.
So now they're saying a
Now it's
minimum of
saying-
1.
Yeah, 1 to
Well,
1,
we
which
can't
is
do
what we
more
want.
than 1. We can require less.
Right. So we could with this change.
So what, that one was on, that was
Kind of
on
hard.
affordable housing.
Yeah.
So this doesn't.
This
trump
doesn't.
affordable housing.
Nope, this is residential development, not affordable housing,
It's in growth areas though.
in growth areas.
It's just-
Growth areas are in affordable housing, or affordable housing are in growth areas.
I believe that's where we put them, yes.
Right.
There's limitations on parking spaces in growth areas.
Which is
Okay, we may not require more than 1 off-street parking space per dwelling unit for residential development within the designated growth area of the municipality. But a municipality may impose maximum parking space requirement or require parking demand management strategies that do not require more than one off-street parking. I mean, you know, you're reading around in circles there, so we need somebody to tell us exactly what that says.
Yeah, and that's what the rules should do. So that's on, you know, so that's something we're gonna have to look at and make sure that, our ordinances abide by. And then I think the larger one is the last one, which is an act to build housing for Maine families and attract workers to Maine businesses by amending the laws governing housing density. So a couple of things to note here is that they specifically said that fire suppression sprinklers are not required for an accessory dwelling unit unless it is inside or attached to a structure of 2 dwelling units or more. We may not enact a rate of growth ordinance that limits residential development in designated growth areas. So that's what Butch, you were mentioning earlier. We have to allow housing developments to be as tall as, except for in shoreland.
We have a 35-foot building height in Hollis, and it says we have to allow an additional story, an additional 14 feet.
Yep.
She's
gets
talking
better.
49 feet. And the reason we had a 35-foot requirement, I believe one of the reasons, is the ability to get on the roof.
But this is only for affordable housing.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
skipped 1C too.
whatever.
5A.
Multi-units can have accessory dwelling units now.
1C, that's not new. Oh, or, yes, no, I'm sorry, you're right.
How about the 5,000 square feet minimum lot size?
Well, that's, yep, we're getting there.
Oh,
How
did
do
I
you
jump
fix
ahead? I'm
that?
sorry.
Yeah.
Or is it as long? What is that one?
I'm sorry. I thought I was a page ahead. My fault.
So there is, there's some stuff around, if a plumbing inspector, it says that the proposed development meets the requirements, then we can't do it, we can't require an additional review. Now, so this big one, section 7, is any area in which residential uses are allowed, then we also need to allow, at a minimum, 3 dwelling units, attached or detached, per lot, and 4 dwelling units, attached or detached, per lot, if the lot is located in a designated growth area.
So does that mean I could pop 3 apartments on my property if I wanted
You can
to?
need space in bulk.
I
Certainly
was going to
sounds
say
that way.
you can pop up 3 buildings and then you can do accessory dwelling units to them as
It
well.
includes accessories.
Oh, okay.
Add section
my-
12.5a on that. Planning board approval not required. A municipality may not require planning board approval for 4 or fewer dwelling units.
Yep.
So right now we
Nice.
have it at 3 triggers planning board approval. Now it will be 4.
Yep.
So you can put 4 houses on
how many
your
acres? 5,000.
Well,
That's
lot
a
size
4
and density allowance for
4
private
unit.
property.
On 5,000 square.
No,
no, not
Nope.
just
No.
not just a 4 unit.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
4 houses. As long as you can meet
4
space
houses,
and bulk,
right?
You can put 4 houses.
Doesn't
I
say
didn't know I was
anything about
living in
space and
Portland.
bulk.
It
If you own a building lot, if you own a legal lot, you can add some accessory dwelling units. This just takes all the power away from the town and lets it be willy-nilly
Yep.
development
Yep.
with no control whatsoever.
The housing density.
Oh, right now
And
it's
that
just
is not
growth area.
good.
so
no.
You have to look
if
for
you
it.
look at section 9,
It starts out there.
it's 2A, lot size and density allowance for private property,
But that's
we
not
fall
necessarily
under
always
item
a growth,
C,
It's not always a growth area.
which means
So this is townwide.
minimum
to
lot size
specifically say.
requirement may not exceed the minimum lot size required by Title 12, Chapter 423A, and the density may not be more restrictive than Title 12, Chapter 423A. I do not have Title 12, Chapter 423A in front of me, so we'll have to come back. I mean, obviously, we're gonna have to come back on a lot of this
Should we
stuff.
publish this to the town?
Well, I mean,
This is a really good summary. I'm just saying, like, this is a really short and sweet version of a bunch of changes that we're gonna have to enact. That
So I think that SMPDC will do that. They will provide us
Okay.
with a good summary of what does and doesn't need to be done. They're just, because there's no rules yet.
Right.
There's just not, we can't really do anything yet. But we may have to change our minimum lot size and our density requirements so that they are not more restrictive than Title 12, Chapter 423. We'll have to check.
Because originally we thought it wouldn't apply to, I remember this from a year or so ago,
Yeah.
where was the LD 2003 stuff. We thought it wouldn't apply to us because it was talking about served by a public, special district, or other centrally managed water system.
Right.
And we thought, oh, that means public water, but the lawyers explained to us that over a certain amount of dwellings,
You
it
just
gets
put it at bigger
classified
septic, yeah.
as public.
Yep.
And so that would make it fall under that. So that would. That's yeah. No, Butch, you nailed it, man.
There's also the section there, section 6, and it tells it in here twice. Upon receipt of written verification from a local plumbing inspector that a housing structure meets requirements of subsection, additional review of documentation by municipality related to waste and wastewater requirements before issuing a certificate of occupancy is prohibited.
So that means if
Now, our local plumbing inspector would be our code enforcement officer. So, you know, he's not gonna approve that thing if it's not gonna meet the requirements for health and safety.
Or at least you can't stop the permit before issuing a certificate. So you can issue the certificate, and then code enforcement can go out and say, "Hey, that's not gonna fly." I don't know. Yeah, you gotta wait. It'll probably be a lot more clear later on. I'll keep that one.
so, these are just, I don't want to say just drafts, but this is the stuff they're proposing.
No, these done.
This is
Done
said and
deal.
done.
Then
This
I
is
just gotta
the
write
new-
out the.
Yeah, no, this is the new law. It is not the
Excuse
new
me,
rules.
not new rules, the new law.
Nick, you'll be happy to see that section 17, a municipality shall allow the construction or occupancy of an accessory dwelling unit on a lot, even if the owner of the lot does not reside in a dwelling unit on that lot.
Oh, I saw that one, and I saw it coming.
Yep. Section 18 is more of what Butch said with the plumbing and the wastewater. So section 19, mandatory training, we are the municipal reviewing authority. Of course, the Board of Appeals is the zoning appeals board. Shall attend a training on land use planning offered by a state agency, or like someone like SMPDC, within 180 days of being appointed.
We do that already. We take that.
That's just for,
That's different.
this is a training on land use planning.
Not the rules.
The training that you're talking about is,
The rules of meeting. Yeah.
it's FOIA, or whatever, FAA.
Yeah.
Whatever the.
Public information.
Yep. If there is not a training available, then you've got to attend the next available one. So right now, I think, Brett, when would these pass? When did you get appointed?
In July, but I signed up for one, I think it's in October, it's in Augusta.
Okay.
Yeah, this came out June 20th.
Does that sound
So I
right?
have to do that too,
October
then I haven't
4th.
been anything.
Wait, when did you get appointed? No,
February.
no, you don't. This law didn't go into effect until June.
Oh, good.
So you do not,
I
but you
don't
can.
wanna- I don't know.
Okay. And Brett, do you know, if you've signed up for something, can you just forward me the, what it is that you signed up for? Or maybe, I don't know. I just want to I want to see if I think that it meets this requirement,
Okay.
or if it's if it doesn't, just, I mean, I'm sure it does, but let's
I'm
just
not
make
sure
sure.
it does.
Certificates are cool.
Yeah, I mean, it
certainly send it to you.
depends. It depends. Anything that MMA puts on, it probably does, assuming that it is about land use and not about Robert's Rules of Order
I
or,
believe it was about affordable housing, but
so that may or may, it may not. We'll
Yeah.
have to see. We can always ask.
Well, I think Martha has a package that she would give you.
That's for,
Yeah, that's for the-
complete that. Yeah,
that's
Freedom
the-
of Information Act or something.
Yep, that's the Freedom of Information. That
that's a
is different.
one now.
This is a new training requirement for land use planning. And then, so there's a few other things about subdivisions in here that are just pretty complicated as far as I'm concerned. And
I didn't see a lot of changes in there from past. you
Yep.
know.
I mean, the changes that they did give us are pretty major.
Yeah, but subdivision, I didn't see a lot of changes in
No,
that.
no, correct. No, really just a couple clarifications. So more to come on the state, legislative changes. And, I have a sinking suspicion that these may come every year, until the state decides not to.
Does,
Yes, go
I mean,
ahead.
interrupt, does this, I don't want to say override, trump what we have currently?
Oops, sorry, yes.
So if someone came in and said, I just want to use this as an example, so I'm clear, I guess. It says 3 dwelling units attached or detached, including accessory dwelling units per lot. For any area in which residential uses are allowed, including as a conditional use, a municipality shall allow at a minimum 3 dwelling units.
Yeah, state law always trumps. So technically we have home rule.
Right.
Home rule authority is if the state doesn't have a law about it,
Yep.
we can make our own law about it.
Correct.
We cannot make a law that is more restrictive than what the state says.
So-
Sorry,
No, you
I
got it
always,
right.
did I get it right?
Yeah,
Not more
you get it right.
restrictive.
We can't be, no, we can be more restrictive, but not less restrictive.
So that would mean that we could.
Unless-
Yeah, in these cases, they're telling us we can't be.
They're telling
Unless-
us you can't be more restricted.
Right.
I
unless-
think the more restrictive depends on whose side,
Depends on the type of rule, right?
right, whose side you're on.
Yeah,
If
can't smoke
they
till
don't
you're
have a
18.
law about it.
You
Yep.
can't smoke till
That's
you're
when
21.
they have a law about this, so we can't make it. Right.
Different.
So they're saying that on a 2-acre zone, which we currently have,
Yep.
you can put 3 dwelling units
Yep.
attached or detached, including accessory dwelling units per lot.
Yep.
So right now, in the town of Hollis, I just want to be 1,000% clear for everybody, you could put 3 houses on one lot as long as you can meet setbacks,
Yeah, as long as you can meet space
space and
and
bulk and
bulk.
setbacks.
Yep.
So 3 houses on one lot in Hollis,
Yep.
and there's nothing. Okay.
Other than like wetland or.
Yeah, I
Soccer
mean, all,
corridor
yes.
could override.
Of course,
Soccer
of course.
corridor,
Soccer corridor.
wetlands.
Right.
Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Definition of an accessory dwelling unit.
Linda. Hey, Linda.
Have its own driveway, does it have its own septic, it all runs off the one.
It can. It can have its own septic, but it doesn't have to.
Linda, did you have a question? We can't hear you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can't.
hi.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Let me
thank you.
unmute.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Is this specific to specified growth areas, or is this just in general?
Doesn't it specifies on some, but not on others.
So the one that I just described, as from what I can read, again, I'm not a professional. It seems like it's for any area in which residential uses are allowed, including as a conditional use, municipality shall allow at a minimum 3 dwelling units attached or detached, including accessory dwelling units per lot, and 4 dwelling units attached or detached, including accessory dwelling units per lot, if the lot is located in a designated growth area, as identified.
So that's our designated growth area that we can't fit any more buildings into right now, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
But now we can.
You could. It seems like you could.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
you're welcome. So I think the bottom line on this is more to come. There'll be a lot more. We'll hear a lot more about this. There'll likely be like opportunities for us to attend workshops, trainings, things like that, to get a feel or a handle on what we really can and cannot do in terms of addressing these changes. So that is the legislative changes section, and then we also have the open space project.
Whose idea is this?
Oh, so hold on one second. All right. Yeah.
Lee wasn't able to make it.
Okay.
From the Hollis Conservation.
Can you introduce yourself and just say
Sure.
your role on the open space project?
You're on
I'm
TV?
Ashley Dow. I am the secretary for the Hollis Conservation Committee. So I can give you guys a brief overview of what this is. Basically, the town of Hollis was awarded a grant. Where we, sure. Basically, the town of Hollis was awarded a grant where we will work with Southern Maine Planning Development Commission to look at open space in Hollis. And how the town might be able to use it, what type of things we can do for it, if there's any available. So basically, Southern Maine Planning will come to a couple of meetings, work with the town, have a couple public comment meetings, and then eventually, I believe we will have some type of either a book or a website that residents can go to that will outline all of the open space in Hollis and different like resources that there are, you know, access to rivers, access to trails, things like that. It's definitely very new in the beginning stages, and I know that Lee will probably be able to provide more information when he can come to a planning board meeting. But they definitely are looking for involvement from you guys, any input that you have, anything that you want to share. You can kind of see the timeline in here on when the meetings will be, and different community involvement things as well.
Awesome.
So I think that a couple things to note is that this is something that the Conservation Commission is riding with, or it is running with. So it is not a select board or a planning board driven process. I also would say that if there are recommendations at the end, they're recommendations. They're not requirements. And I do not know, you know, when we talk about like open space and what to do with it, you know, we have, I would argue, I think the majority of the open space in Hollis is affixed to cluster developments, which means that's private property, and there's very little that can be done with it because it is set aside in perpetuity. With limitations around what can be done. So I think that, you know, I think that something like this may generate like, oh, you could put a walking trail system together. You know, oh, it just so happens that 90% of the open space in Hollis is in this area. You could make a trail system. You could forest it because foresting activities are allowed on open spaces. So I think it's designed to coordinate. So we put in place these ways of having open space, but then there's no actual coordination of what to do with the open space, if any. And like I said, our job we're not taking a primary role in here, but if there were zoning ordinance changes recommended, we would probably take those up and consider them as a board. How long do you think the project will last?
It goes through March 2027.
Okay, well then,
Yeah.
Nice.
we will look forward to getting updates at these, like, you know, as these different tasks get completed. Maybe that's, yeah, I mean, I would say, you know,
How big was the grant that we had?
It's in the back page there.
$29,475.
Well, I see that was the cost of it. Is that,
Oh yeah, I
is
think
the
that's,
grant's taking care of the total cost?
yeah.
Okay.
So let me see, draft an open space. So the ultimate goal is that there will be an open space plan drafted, and then I believe that would have to be voted on.
So is there a committee for this, or who's?
It's
Get
the
conservation.
Committee.
Okay.
Conservation Commission.
Yeah, is it commission or committee?
I have
Okay.
So really.
All right. So if you have questions, additional questions about this, or if anyone has additional questions about this, feel free to reach out to the Conservation Commission / committee.
Commission.
Which you can find their information on the website.
I believe you can, yes, I believe there is a link and maybe even an email address. So that concludes board business. I will open up to public comment if we have anyone who would like to make a public comment. I don't believe we have any projects on the horizon coming down the pike, but we should at our next meeting, we have a meeting on next Tuesday. Just a reminder to everyone, at 7 p.m. here in this building. I believe it is open to the public. This is not a meeting that our board has, is not the host of. So I do not know if there are plans to have it be recorded or if it's required to be recorded. I did ask it to be recorded. No plans to record it and no requirement to be recorded, but public is welcome.
Is it in this building?
It is in this building because we will have not moved into the new building yet, right? So it'll be the last thing that we do in this.
Are we moving into the new building?
Well, there's meeting space there, of course,
Cool.
right?
News to me.
Yeah.
Planning board not allowed?
Yeah, no kidding. They're gonna keep us out here. That's all right.
I'm gonna lose my personal air conditioner over there.
Yeah, we gotta pull it apart.
Oh, yeah. Yes, let's do that.
I think it's like,
And we are gonna ask one of our newest select board members to come up and give us a little bit of a overview of what we're gonna discuss at the joint meeting. That's what we're doing. And I almost forgot about you, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Actually, I'm not going to. That wasn't my plan, actually, to talk about the meeting necessarily. I wanted to see. First of all, thank you very much for agreeing to meet with us and meet together. And also, has everyone been able to read the agenda at this point? Draft, I should say, very much draft agenda. And is there anything that you'd like to change to it or discuss about changing to it at this point?
I haven't had an opportunity
Oh, you
to look
haven't?
at it, no.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to talk for the whole planning board, so
just talk for yourself.
talk for myself. I'd like to just get an explanation as to why our stuff wasn't allowed on the last June ballot. We still haven't seen an explanation that passes a straight face test. It's more of a making sure that it doesn't happen again, and making sure that whatever requirements the select board feels that the planning board didn't meet are very clear moving forward. So that would be fantastic if we could have just an overview, maybe saying, hey, this is exactly why your stuff was not allowed on the last ballot. So don't do this again, and we'll allow your stuff on the ballot.
Okay.
That would be fantastic. Again, speaking not for the entire board, but something that relates to the board, the select board didn't allow our proposed marijuana ordinance changes on the ballot. The reasoning they gave in the letter that they sent to us was that they promised the residents of Hollis that they wouldn't allow Hollis to become the pot capital of Maine, and that they were protecting the Hollis residents. So those proposed ordinance changes could not be enacted without approval of the voters, by the voters. So not allowing something on a ballot because you're protecting the residents is a trash can excuse. If the residents don't want that, they're going to vote no. And if they did want that, you've removed their ability to vote yes for that by not allowing it on the ballot. So I don't feel that that was remotely correct, both from a morally or ethically standpoint, to not allow something on the ballot because you say you're protecting Hollis residents by refusing it to allow it on there. So a explanation of that or why that was even said or sent to us, in a letter, would be again fantastic.
So not at the meeting, but in a letter?
No.
What you're
They sent it to us.
No, we got a letter.
So you'd like to discuss,
when-
you'd like to add that specific
Yeah, we're gonna add-
item to the agenda?
Yep.
By the way, I can't make any decisions. I'm one board member, right?
of course.
But you would like to add that to the agenda specifically about the you'd like to talk specifically about the marijuana use, as well as going back to the first point, you want to talk about why your items were not let onto the warrant
I
back
think
in
what we
May.
would like to understand is what are the parameters around select board making the decision to put something on the warrant or not put something on the warrant.
Are those
Because-
going to be pretty variable, or you want an explanation of why it wasn't in May?
Yes, so we've gotten somewhat of an explanation.
Right.
Which we've refuted. There is one it was 1 day late. That is accurate. So like from a technical, if you're just looking technically, that's technically can be the reason.
Yeah.
I've been on this planning board for a long time. I've never seen the select board refuse to put something that the planning board worked on, refuse to put it up for voters.
Twice.
And that has happened to us now twice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So we want to have we want to understand how that decision gets made at the select board level, because there are no rules around how the select board makes a decision like that. And it didn't happen in public, it happened in private. They made that decision privately.
So definitely, this is a discussion topic for our workshop.
Yep.
Okay. And is everyone aligned with what Tommy is suggesting in terms of the discussion? You said you were speaking for yourself, but you are. The board is here. Is that? I just want to say.
I would say on the marijuana piece is it's clarity to. There needs to be, without a charter, who's responsible for rewriting zoning ordinances, and then how they get, what the process is for approval before it goes
It's
before the
written
public.
right in the ordinance.
It seems pretty clear to me, but obviously it didn't seem very clear to me when it was about to go out for ballot. It seemed very backroomish and closed door decision making, rather than we wasted a bunch of our private volunteered time to try to do something we thought the public.
I feel like we're litigating this. We're going to talk about this
so
stuff.
I think I agree with him in a more general stance. Not that is the example of something that was just I don't understand what rule we didn't follow to waste our time.
And in one situation, we got a formal letter from the select board saying we chose not to put this up for ballot, and then we did not get the same thing.
I don't want to interrupt you again. I just feel like I'm not going to take this back to the select board, but if you want to put an agenda item specifically talking about those two things,
I think there should be some kind of written documentation of what will happen. I mean, I believe we're not the only board that proposes ordinance changes, but we're certainly the most prolific. Right. And so there should be a process.
So Martha's going to be there.
Yep.
So we're going to be able to really make sure that we have all those legal definitions there. She's going to be able to define all that, the timelines, everything that we need to know, right?
We understand that. It is when there is nothing written in the ordinances about how the select board decides whether or not to put a proposal that another board makes onto. So we have there's a whole written process for what to do if a citizen's initiative comes up. If I want to, which we've done, if I want to propose a ordinance change, there's a very clear process to do it. State law and Hollis ordinances dictate how that's done. When it comes to a board proposing ordinance changes, that is written into the Hollis Planning Board ordinance that says we have I don't know if it's the right or the responsibility to propose ordinance changes. There's nothing that says what the rights and responsibilities are of the select board. And as it stands right now, we have had 2 situations where we've made proposed ordinance changes that were denied by the select board. And the denial process was unclear and was not papered, was not captured the same way for both things. And so I would like there to be some kind of an alignment so that we know what to expect and we know what will happen.
Yeah.
So just so that we know what to expect.
Yeah, just make sure what you just said, say it again at the meeting so everyone here, because we can't guarantee the select board's going to be watching this meeting.
No, of course not.
Or they
No.
should, in
Yep.
essence, right?
No, that's fine. No, we would love to have that.
Okay.
That procedure.
And I mean, just to kind of put it out there, the intent of this meeting is to hopefully move past this. We have a very different government structure now, don't we?
Yes.
We
very
have
different.
we have a 5-person select board. I know you know all this. You
Yes.
have a 5-person select board. You have a lot of new people on it. You have a town manager. Very different situation. So we can't make guarantees about anything, obviously, but we can certainly set expectations for each other and hopefully move past it so we can do the right thing for the residents, right?
I think that were we to get an explanation, that would help us move past it.
Okay.
And also
I
an
can't guarantee
understanding
that,
of what
right?
might happen in the future.
Right. I do feel like a lot was said in May, and a lot those your concerns were expressed in May. Are we going past that? Or are we going to reiterate what was said in those May meetings?
Probably.
Just going to reiterate
We're
it.
not open. Is that
Yeah.
public comment?
2 seconds.
We're not open for public comment right now. They'll just have to wait.
Um,
Sorry.
The other stuff was protocol surrounding the select board recommends, planning board recommends, or does not recommend on the ballot.
Right. That was discussed in depth at that meeting too. We can add that to the agenda to talk about for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna
Sure. Yeah,
try to iron that.
I'll add
out
that too.
because it was
Well,
brought up.
I'll just say it. I'll make a suggestion to add it. Anything else?
That one,
Not at all.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
I'm
our meeting
excited.
too. It's going to be great. All right. Thanks so much, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. We did have another piece of public comment. We'll open up to public comment.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I would also like an explanation from the select board as far as their process, and if it's not documented, maybe we should document it, like a certain process.
Agreed.
Awesome. Linda, I don't think we're gonna be, this meeting won't be on Zoom, the meeting next week won't be on Zoom, I was told. So we'd love to have you attend in person if possible. And on that note then, so plan for next meeting, we have the meeting next week. And then for our next regularly scheduled planning board meeting, I think we need to start looking at the ordinances according to our list that we just went through tonight, in order of our list, and I will update this list. And then I will make sure to have sent out to everyone the changes that we previously drafted, so we can take one last eyeball look at those. And then also the proposed planning board ordinance changes that we started talking about but haven't, I think we did one pass over them, but didn't really discuss them after folks had had a chance to look at them. Definitely encourage planning board members, if there's something you want to see in, now is the time, we're drafting now. So if there's something you want to see changed in one of those ordinances, let's bring it up and talk about it as a group.
Awesome.
Alrighty, and with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.